morning, good morning. This is Sydney Guajardo with Trading Places Live, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. Let's go look for some trades. All right. Okay, we're gonna look on look for some trades on the come and take it worksheet. Let's see what we have here. Let's look at gold. I want you to write down some of these. Hold on here. Erase some of these drawings here. All right, first trade of the day is gold. Let's keep this. I'm going to use these drawing tools instead. I know it's all about being nice and neat, but it's a lot easier to erase. But anyway, all right. So the first thing we want to look at is the direction this thing is heading. It's heading north. Okay, so that means buy. I've read some articles that gold could get up to about 1780, 1790, and then drop sharply over the next few days. Maybe by the open of Sunday, we should start to see its peak. But let's take a look here. This is definitely going long, long, long. I don't know if I'd want to take the trade right now. Market's getting ready to open. It's actually climbing right now. But we definitely want to watch this. I don't know if it's going to be a start of a new trend to open up short, or it could be in consolidation. Right now it shows it's in consolidation, but the market just opened as well. But there's a little bit of action on it right now. Who knows? But definitely the general direction is long. So for those of my students have the indicators, you could take the trade anytime you want today. The indicators will tell you when to do it. As a matter of fact, this is let's see what the King Solomon says. It's definitely an uptrend right now. I'd kind of watch it right here to see what happens. It looks like it's starting to turn a little bit, starting to turn dark red on the 60-minute candle. 60-minute candles usually don't change trends, but they can. But you see, this is definitely in an upward direction. So this could range once it gets up here to this side of the street. Let me see here. There's nothing wrong with a trade being right here and then just floating. We all talk about not taking trades in the middle of the street, but there's a lot of money to be made between here and wherever this thing lands. If you're going to use, if the trend is to use the curve as a support line, it'll make money all day right through here. You just have to recognize that if it's an upward trend or not. So I would definitely be leery of taking a trade gold short today. But I think it's going to probably stay. It's probably going to move about $60 here, and that, depending on the size of your account, that could be extremely huge over the next few days. There's going to be a lot of wealth generated over the weekend. But let's erase all this, so we know where that's going to be headed today, at least. Okay, let's go to the next trade. The US 30. Guys, you can make so much money on US 30. You just have to learn how to trade it. Not necessarily learn how to trade it, but get used to trading it. That thing is very difficult, and the reason why It's hold on. Why doesn't these things erase? Anyway, this thing moves so fast. This is one of the reasons why we have rules in place. You know, if you have to go, if you sit down and you kind of have to go pee or use the restroom or whatever, don't do it on US 30 and don't do it on gold. You can blink and lose your whole account. It's horrible. Now, but when you know what you're doing and you know how it moves, it's not that bad. You can make a lot of money that way. So right here, it's in a range, or it's in the middle of the street, or it's in consolidation. But I would definitely look to. It's going to be kind of hard on this one because gold is going up so fast, and usually when gold is going up, the US 30 is going down, right? But I've seen, especially this year, since the Brexit election and close to Thanksgiving, it's just been a crazy, crazy market in Forex, which is not bad. You just have to change the way you trade. But if this isn't consolidation, this could definitely close out with a banker's candle. And what happens on a banker's candle, it'll either go up or down rather quickly. So just beware on this one, on US 30. But it looks like it's definitely going up. It's been on an upward trend for, I don't know, ups and downs the last 2-3 weeks or so. But anyway, let's move right along here. Let's go to Euro USD. It's been moving. See here. Okay, it's been moving in a down direction, in a general down direction for a long time. I think it's about time that this thing rebounds. Let's see what where we go one, we go all says. It's still heading in a down direction. This is, well, look at this 8-hour candle. The last 8 hours has been moving in an up direction. I would definitely hold off before making any rash decisions on that. But if I had to put my life on it, I'd probably think that this is going to start to go the other way and start to go up. URUSD. So just write that one down and take a look at it. US dollar yen. This one's a tough one. Let's see here. Well, it's obvious here that the trend is going down right here, right? And here the trend was going up. And this was like a, kind of looks like an M pattern. Some classify this as some sort of consolidation as well. But look, it had an extreme high and it went into like an M type pattern and then it went low. So this pattern could repeat itself. So I don't know, with these long jumps and candles for hours on end, this is probably it would be a good trade to, like, let me show you something here. For those of my students who subscribe, they also get these signals that can be emailed to you or text to you. So every time there's a direction, a change in direction on trend, you'll get a signal, and it'll either be a down signal or an up signal. And in this case here, I mean, if it wouldn't be bad if you were to get in a trade right here and take it all the way up. And that could happen, even though it's in consolidation most of the time. It's very hard to make money when the candle is that small. You can, but it can retrace on you really quickly or come backwards. But when you have long candles like this, you can make some really good money. So just be very careful when you do get into a trade like this. You just remember you do have a lot of support and resistance. Make sure you use that, your vertical line when you're looking for trades. Right here's one. It kind of hits everywhere. Here's another one, and they're all over the place. Here's another one. So this is kind of where the money just sputters before it either goes down or goes up. So when you're looking at these, you can put a Fibonacci tool up and find out where to trade between support and resistance. The Fibonacci is good, but I like doing the vertical line or the horizontal lines. It's a lot easier. It's a little more precise. But if you do use a Fibonacci tool, look how close this is. One second here. Some of these lines overcross each other. That's how close this thing is, or very close to each other. So guys, when you're looking for your own trades, it doesn't take but 2 seconds to throw up a Fibonacci. Whatever screen you're looking at, start your Fibonacci from the lowest low and go to the highest high and include the candle wicks. And this will give you all the support and resistance you need. Now in this case, there's a lot of distance between here and here. So what you may want to do is find some more support and resistance, because even though there's a lot of real estate, the currency will sputter right around in this area here. It'll probably sputter right around this area here. And it could. So these are all little stopping points, little truck stops, where if the money's going up, it'll sputter here and then break through or come back down. It'll go to the next support resistance line. So this is, I always get nervous when the candle's moving up like that and it starts to sputter. Sometimes it'll just break right through with the extreme amount of pressure. Then there's sometimes where it'll slow down and then go right through and then come back sometimes, but it'll end up going up again. The trend will dictate as far as the pressure of how much force goes through this. This is what, at least it's what I've seen. You can see the candle moving a lot quicker, especially when you're on your MT4 and you go to like a 5-minute candle. Now that candle will just make you nervous how much it retraces and comes back. Retracement means like if it's gone up and the candle comes back a little bit, kind of like a vacuum cleaner. Okay, let's erase this and go to the next one. So this is definitely be a fun trade to trade, or a fun pairing symbol. You know, the dollar versus the yen. It'd be very fun to trade that today. Euro, JPY. So got to be careful on this one. I definitely see that this trade. Whoops. I definitely see that this trade is going short. Now, how it starts off today, who knows? But right now, it is going short. There's some consolidation going on right here, so I'd be aware of that. I would definitely be looking for a trade to go long on this one, because if you can see here, this is kind of like a new low for it. I mean, I could be wrong. It could keep going, but you know, the reason why maybe the euro JPY has fallen is because the JPY is paired up with the euro, and the euro versus the US dollar has been tanking, has been going in a downward trend. Same thing with this one, but whatever is down must come up. So I'd probably be looking for a trade somewhere north. If you have our indicators, you can keep an eye on this, or you can keep an eye out yourself on the euro, but this is definitely heads up on which way this trade is heading. That's where I'd be looking. Let's look at Aussie US dollar. So this is definitely a trade going north. This is what I would look for. A trade going north. You have a lot of space, a lot of resistance lines here from here to here. Let me see, this is where it stopped off. So it's got a lot of space to go before it kisses here and comes back down. I'm going to guess that it's probably going to head north a little bit because it is paired up with the U.S. dollar, and it looks like the U.S. 30, the Dow Jones, is going to head north today. If it bounces and retraces back, it could do this number as well. Where is it? So there's a lot of real estate to come back on this one, but who knows? This is probably something you need to keep an eye on. Let's erase all this. Okay, so I want to change it up, and I want to talk a little bit about how to look for trades with just looking for Sierra. And it's not that hard. Let's go back to I want to go back to the King Solomon, and let's look at that here. And let's look at gold. Okay, so we're gonna take it very, very slowly and work it like no one has ever done Forex before. So when the gold is paired up with the dollar, in this case, when any currency is paired up with anything, there's peaks and valleys because the money moves. It's worth more one day than it is the other. Now, we trade with the trend, okay? Now, some of these trades, I know there's been some students that have talked about consolidation in the market. You know, there's always going to be consolidation. In my opinion, let's take a look at this. For instance, right here, this looks like a good solid. If everyone would agree with me, this looks like it's in consolidation, right? So if you take a look at this, our competition is not each other. You know, there could be 10 million retail traders and none of them are competing with each other. In Forex, what we're competing against are big investors, people that manage hedge funds, banks mainly. Well, they really don't, they see that our trades can move the market, but these guys trade hundreds of millions of dollars, and they'll use like, you know, a 200 lot size. It's crazy. They actually move the market. They can influence what a currency can do, whether it goes up or down. So, for instance, gold here, and I've zoomed this in to show you what's happening. This candle actually, you know, this green candle is a bullish candle. It went way up to the 98% of Forex traders. They probably got in right here. They saw this big large candle. They said, "Ooh, here's a yellow one. I'm going to take it," or this green one, and I'm going to take it. And then all of a sudden, it comes up here, and then a red candle comes, and then they lose their money and get in it this way. They say, "Oh, look, it's going red again. I'm going to take it." And then it comes up here, and then it goes up here, and then they get out of it again. Well, there's millions of traders doing that, and every time these people that are, I mean, it's even happened to me, and I have probably the best indicators on the planet. And right here, it'll definitely show when you go on a trade and then it goes backwards, somebody lost money. Well, hundreds of millions of people lost money. So in my theory, these institutional traders will keep a currency pair in consolidation and just collect and collect and collect and collect. And a lot of people with bigger pockets usually try to swing trade. So what they'll do is during this little pocket here, this range, I'm not saying this is a banker's candle, but what'll happen is you'll usually have a big spike up or a big spike down and into consolidation, and sometimes it'll spike up again. So I'm trying to develop an indicator, and when this indicator comes out, we're all going to be able to buy our own individual islands. But I'm going to try and figure out a way to get this indicator to where you can tell when it's coming into consolidation, which we already have that, but when is it coming out? Because there's some candles that, I mean, I've seen it to where you'll have some really large candles where it appears it's coming into consolidation, and then it'll come back down. So that's my issue, trying to figure that out. But anyway, so just be aware. This is why I always tell my students, never trade when it's in consolidation, because this can happen, or this can happen, and then all of a sudden this happens, and it's just a horrible, horrible thing. So let me put this down to normal size. So when we're looking for trades, what you want to do is you want to look for agreement, okay? So the 60-minute chart, in my opinion, is not a trend changer, okay? But this is, you want to look to see what general direction the trade is going. And it looks like it's been going up for a long time. Now, how do you verify that to see if it's truly been going up? Because the shorter candle that you get, you're going to produce more candles. So in other words, how many candles come out? With a 60-minute candle, you'll have a new candle coming out every single hour. So with this indicator, you'll have a new candle coming out every 2 hours, okay? Every 4 hours. And this is an 8-hour candle. So if the 8-hour candle looks like it's going up, the 4-hour candle looks like it's going up, the 120 is definitely going up, and the 60 is going up, what direction do you think this trade is going for the rest of the day? Probably up. But then look at this. There's some pressure for this to go down. Because on this page, I have this design to where when it turns this darker shade of red, or this pink or whatever it is, it's going down. And it's already starting to soften here, okay? So this definitely doesn't have a trend like it's going up, it's going sideways. It almost has a very like middle of the street type of feel. So that's all Forex is trying to pick direction. And actually we're not even picking it. It's right here in front of us. Now it's a lot easier to pick trend direction and which way to get in and when exactly to get out without the proper indicators. This is the reason why so many people fail at Forex, because like all I know how to do is trade Forex with the trend. Now there's a lot of different people that trade Forex a different way. There's people that trade strictly off the news. There's people that trade strictly off of pattern. And then there's people that trade with technical analysis. They'll be looking for structure, which there's nothing wrong with that. All those strategies are successful. But when you try to mix them all together and you start learning too much about Forex, and that sounds kind of weird, learning too much about Forex, but when you start gathering all these different strategies, all these things start popping into your head, and then you get a thing, what we call analysis paralysis. Or instead of just keeping it simple, we try to go way overboard and learn different ways of trading, and it just doesn't work all at once. It's kind of like an athlete. When you're a sprinter, you train a certain way. When you run cross country, you train a different way. You know, a bodybuilder is an athlete just like a track star, but everything is different. They lift different, they eat certain diets, everything is just different. It's the same thing in any industry. And I'm a full-time trader, and I invest in several different things, and that's what the biggest thing you have to come to grips with is the way, you know, learn how to trade one way and be the best at it, you'll make money. It doesn't matter about patterns. If it's making a triangle or rectangle, all these things, the end result is either the trade is going to go up or it's going to go down. And to me, it only makes sense to be a trend trader, especially when you have all the indicators telling you when to get in and when to get out. Okay, so we could all agree that this trade is probably going to stay going north, but its support resistance is going to be on this side of the street. So let me give you an example. So I'm going to write through this right here. This right here would be your support line or your resistance line, and this right here is going to be your support line. I always get those two mixed up. To me, I think even though it is going to trend in an upward direction, it's probably going to bounce in between here. It's what they call a range. It's almost like in the middle of the street, but it's actually on the right on the sidewalk where everyone's riding their bike. So you have to be careful. So I think it's gonna go north, and it's just gonna be doing this all day, just like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can still make money. It just takes a little longer to do it. Let me see here. Okay, let's go to US 30. Let's see if we can find some trades. So the reason I'm doing it this way is I'm going to show you the hard way. This is how people normally trade. They'll analyze a trade, they'll do all these things, they'll use all these big words, retracement, consolidation, trend, Bollinger Bands, support and resistance. All these words to me are very intimidating, especially when you don't know. So I can tell you right now, everyone knows that Forex biggest nemesis is when you're in consolidation. Everyone knows that you make money when what you're looking at is trending up or trending down, right? We all know this. This is where you make money. This is a great move here. This is not so much of a great move. This down here, if you were move it forward, this right here is a great move. Let's go further back. I mean, the great moves are everywhere. This is one big consolidation. Look at this great move right here. This is what you're looking for, okay? Now, to the untrained eye, this may be very difficult, and it is. If I had to trade Forex without my indicators, I'd be lost. So, right here, just to give you an example, this is live data. So this is definitely going up, right? Well, the 8-hour candle doesn't say that. It looks like it's in a down trend. And it could be, because from here to here, it kind of looks like a downtrend. But look at the 240-minute candle. It looks like it's trying to pull up, and the 2-hour candle definitely is pulling up. So if I was a betting man first, I don't bet in Forex, but look at this. Right here, it's in consolidation. So especially with an indice like this, like the US 30, which is so volatile right now, especially with the economy the way it is, with all the layoffs and the COVID, we definitely want to stay away from this. And you can definitely make some money on this, but you have to be on top of it. So this is where you find trend, and this is where you find trend to get it. So right now it's going up. It's kind of moving up out of the street. So it looks like it's a trade. Do you take the trade? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but to the average eye, hey, let's go ahead and take it. And then when it blows up your account, then you're saying that Forex is a scam, and it's not that way. When you have something that is very intimidating with all these words and this movement and what do I do? How do I buy? You have fear. And what removes fear is luck. Luck is laboring under correct knowledge. Okay? That removes fear. If there's somebody telling you that this trade is going to move up, this is moving up, and you have agreement everywhere, and it's telling you this, my indicators at work is telling you to take a trade long, would you take a trade long? Of course I would. Of course I would. That's why I've designed the Rochelle the King Solomon, and the where we go one, we go all, they're all different types of indicators, but they all work the same. They all have to be in agreement. So that's why I developed this. Well, let's go back to the King Solomon. Let's go look at the Euro USD. So this is definitely, you don't have to pull out any type of tool to figure out that this trade is going short. Now the last 2 or 3 hours it's been moving along, so you may want to take a look at it. But the Bollinger Band will tell you everything. It'll tell you how much trades are involved, like volume. It'll even tell you what direction it's going in. Now the Bollinger Band right now on this 1 hour candle is definitely moving in the south direction, so it's a sell. Even this last candle has touched this moving average and is coming down. The 2 hour indicator is going down, and so are the rest of them. So this would probably be a safe bet that the Euro USD is probably going to end up short today. As a matter of fact, look at, there's a lot of movement right here on this last candle. If you can see it, it's retracing. Let's go to the Rochelle and go to Euro USD. Yeah, even all these indicators, this is definitely a trade. This one needs a little more pressure to come down. This 15-second candle, the vessel's on the wrong side, but there's a lot of pressure down here. This would probably be a good trade. Yeah, it's in retracement right now, this yellow one. It's hit if you can see it right here. If you can see it, it hit the moving average and it bounced back. Let's kind of test to see. Let's put our fib line on it. See, so this resistance line has been bouncing. It bounced off this resistance line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So that's a very strong resistance line. So it's probably going to end up happening. It may touch this line again and then shoot back down. Anytime it goes above the market average, it may be a trend to start heading the other direction. That's why it's very important to use these or create your own support and resistance. Now I'm going to say it again. It's not any type of mystery, but we make our money between here and here, between support and resistance. And I like catching a trade down in this area, because when it's down in this area, that means it's on this side of the money street. And usually when it's down here, it wants to go up, doesn't it? When it's up here on this 100% line, that means it's on this side. And where does it want to go? It wants to go down. So even though this is a 1 hour candle, if you're to look at like maybe a 5 hour candle, the percentages on the support resistance may change. But this is definitely where we make our money, between here and here. The support and resistance changes depending on what candle you're looking at. So what may move at a very small rate here, and I can show you. Let's look at an MT4. So if you look at this, this is, let's go to a faster moving candle here, a faster moving pair. Like gold. If you look at gold on the hour, it does move, but it moves very little. Look, you see this? It just doesn't move that much. But this is the same pair, the same trading pair, the same gold. And look on the 1 minute. Look how it just, you can see some very radical movement. It's not really moving that closely. Well, look at gold just taking off. That's a big spread there. Let's take a look here. See how this is moving in a downward direction now? This may be a good trade to take right now. Let me see. If I take this trade, this is kind of like breaking all the rules, because this is, you definitely want to trade with this here. This is pulling it down just like this, and there's a lot of pressure to pull it down. See how it's in consolidation as this big banker candle came out? That's so crazy. It's kind of sputtering right there. There's a little blinking noise on the router. Just give me 1 second, guys. Do we make any money yet? Let's see some here. I definitely don't want to trade against the rules. But this here, golly. Look at that. That's why you don't trade against the rules. You see this big candle here, and without any indicators, you don't know what's gonna. If I would have taken that trade with this size of account, that'd have been a $4,000 loser, just like that. So the best time is to let's look at this gold for a while. There's a lot of pressure for it to go up, and this thing, it just doesn't. I don't know if you see what I'm seeing, but this is definitely not a very good trade right now. I mean, you have pressure going up on the 15-second, you have pressure going down on the 30-second, and you have pressure going down on the 45. So even though there's a lot of pressure right here, seems like it's going to go down. It may take a really big dip down. Or it could just stay there. Who knows? Who knows? Let's look at US 30. Let me mess with this. Same thing. There's a little pressure for it to go up here. It's kind of hitting the screen here on the very top. A little pressure going up here. Nothing. Euro USD. This one's going down for sure. Let's take a, see, this is a trend going up. We're taking a down candle. This is kind of dangerous. See how the vessel's creeping back up on this money rope. You want both, all three vessels to be really pulling that down. You don't want to get too close to that. You want this vessel way down here. Oh, look at this one. Isn't that crazy? Look at all that consolidation and just boom. Let's go to the USD JPY. This could be a good trade. How did I call this? USD JPY. Man, that is unbelievable. That institutional trader just cleaned up right there. Just killed everybody all over the United States, all over the world. It just went up like that, took everybody's money. Euro JPY. Same thing. Boy, that yen, it's the yen that did that. Just took a huge spike. Aussie dollar, US dollar, pound, US dollar. Okay. For now, I mean, we've gone through a lot of trades here. There's some consolidation. We never know when it's going to hit. Right now is a decent time to trade, all the way till about 10 o'clock. What I would do is definitely do some scalping today. And for those of you who have Sierra charts, you can use this. For those of you who don't, there's other indicators out there that just connect right onto your MT4. They're all effective. There's this one indicator I used to use on MT4, and that's all I used to trade on, and I did very well with it. But this right here, it's not. There's no difference in it. You can just do a lot more. You can find out more details about a trade. You could definitely make better notes. But it's in comparison. You can. So if you can do a lot more with it, you can make a lot more money. So, but little things at a time. So just be very aware of what's out there. I can't tell you to go to YouTube and not look at videos, because I did the same thing, because I wanted to be a master at my craft. And I'm not saying that I mastered Forex, but I definitely put myself in a situation where I could recognize other things. I just made sure and didn't cloud myself with those type of trading pairs or those types of ways of trading. Trend trading by far is the most popular way of trading, or the most effective. There's a lot of companies out there that like to trade with patterns. I don't know anything about patterns. All I know is trend. So anytime you take a trade, keep the trend in mind of what you're doing. But let me see, who do we have on here today? Okay, so Vera, you have Sierra charts. You're one of my students. Julian, you're trading with, I've named it a couple things, the Moneymaker or Show Me Your Pips. That's a very good, that's all I used to use for trading. You can use that for long term, and you can also use it for scalping. But once I use that, I wanted to find a different way, not a different way, the same way of making money, just make it easier on students. And we did. So hopefully you can become a student. You're learning a lot just by hopping on here every morning. There's a few trades that I like today, but I think today is going to be a very good money mover. Just by looking at all the trades on King Solomon. There's a lot of trading pairs that are on this side of the street looking to go up, and there's a lot of trades on this side looking to go down. So I don't think the consolidation will be there. It's also the time of day. You can trade. I trade during the day, like anywhere between 11 and 4, but that's a low. What I've typically found out is it's lower volume, and if you do happen to get stuck in a trade in consolidation, you'll be in that trade for several hours. So what you want to do is see if you can work it out to where you get these indicators as quickly as possible, so it can get you out of trouble. Basically, it'll show you when to get out of a trade and when to get in. But anyway, we'll have training today at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, and there's more and more people hopping on every single day. So they're seeing that it does work. But anyway, yeah, shoot me a text if you have any questions, and we are